We're also getting in some breaking news about the talks that are going on to lock down Poes Garden House. The residence of the late Chief Minister, which Sasikala is staying. Now, what we're hearing is that the caretaker Chief Minister, Panneerselvam, is mulling to lock down Poes Garden. In fact, we hear that he is already speaking to the police department. And we also are getting in news that ministers, in fact, have rushed to Poes Garden, including Senior Minister Panneerselvam. Okay, so lots of updates, developments happening. What we're hearing is that there's also a meeting going on between Sasikala and some of the very senior AIADMK leaders. This is clearly going to be now, the point where both the stalwarts, both these iconic leaders of Tamil Nadu, Sasikala and Panneerselvam will have to prove the numbers. But, who's really in whose camp? Let's find out from Padmaja Joshi, my colleague, who's joining us now. Padmaja, please go ahead and just share with us. There's just so much going on, so much of news about Sasikala safeguarding her flock, Panneerselvam claiming to have the support of 50 MLAs. It's over to you.
Well, in this game of cloak and dagger, Avantika, it will be a while before we put a finger on exactly how many people are with who are in which camp. But there are some people who have come out in the open with their support for Sasikala and Panneerselvam respectively. Let's first talk about Amma, who has pledged their support to her. There is Mafoe Pandeyarajan. He's the school education minister. He's in fact the person you're talking about right now, who has rushed to Poes Garden, getting news that maybe Panneerselvam is getting ready to make Sasikala Beghar, to turn Poes Garden residence of Jayalalitha, the erstwhile residence, into a museum. You have E.K. Palaniswamy, he's the PWD minister. You have Mr. Tambidurai, he's the deputy speaker in the Lok Sabha. You have Mr. P. Ramachandran, he's a senior leader of the AIADMK, and P. Purushottaman, he is the Puducherry AIADMK unit secretary. Let's also take a look at who has openly gone over to Panneerselvam's side. You, of course, have Manoj Pandian. He is P.H. Pandian's son. You have P.H. Pandian himself. He's been a former assembly speaker, one of the founding members of the AIADMK, incidentally. These two, along with Mr. V. Maitreyan, were the ones who had first vocally come out in Panneerselvam's favor. Yesterday, they flanked him even as Panneerselvam launched one of his sharpest attacks yet at Sasikala, saying that she was the one who deliberately tried to remove him from the CM's post and did all of that unilaterally. Joining them, of course, is also Deepa Jayakumar. She is one who had jumped into the fray earlier as a challenger to Sasikala. But the moment Panneerselvam raised the banner of revolt, she clearly realized who commanded better public sentiment, and she pledged her support to Panneerselvam. And you have Om Shakti Shekhar, a former MLA of the AIADMK. So all of these people are openly with Panneerselvam. But very interesting, some of the MLAs we are hearing, Avantika, who in fact are currently, put away in various resorts and five-star hotels in Chennai and around it, may also just cross over to Panneerselvam's side. Plenty of stories doing the rounds about how people are actually running away from Sasikala's resorts to go and be by Panneerselvam's side. So ultimately, only a floor test is going to really prove who's with who.
Oh, absolutely. Both of them will have to finally prove their majority on the floor of the House. Padmaja, thank you so much for, just giving us that information. But the big news, that we received a short while back is about those talks that are doing the rounds to possibly lock down Poes Garden, the residence of the late Chief Minister Jayalalitha. We are hearing this coming in from the Panneerselvam camp. The Chief Minister, the caretaker Chief Minister, we believe, is holding talks with the police department. And this is coming at a time when the caretaker Chief Minister just very recently ordered the transfer of the Chennai City Police Commissioner S. George. I'm going to go straight across now to India Today's Akshata Nandgopal. She's outside Poes Garden. So, Akshata, tell us a little bit more about these talks that perhaps are taking place between the Chief Minister and the police department to lock down Poes Garden.
Avantika, just a small correction. I'm outside Panneerselvam's residence right now, which is on Greenways Road, about 15 to 20 minutes away from Poes Garden. We just managed to go inside. Panneerselvam was present alongside the likes of several MLAs, alongside also Madhusudanan, who is the Presidium Chairman of the AIADMK. So that's crucial support that's come his way. But yes, he has spoken about issuing an order to shut down Poes Garden to ensure that Poes Garden becomes a Jaya memorial. What we have to keep in mind, Avantika, is that this was something that gained a lot of steam online. Soon after Jayalalitha's demise, there was this massive petition online which got really lax of supporters. People had come together to demand that Poes Garden be made a memorial for Jayalalitha so that Amma supporters, bereaved Amma supporters could go in there and remember Jayalalitha, remember her legacy, and of course figure out exactly how she went about her life. So it looks like he's fulfilling that, reaching out to the people, another populist measure that could make him very, very popular among the people. At the same time, it's literally hitting two birds with one stone. At the same time, an all-out attack against Sasikala and Natarajan, because what we have to keep in mind is that this house, the Veda Nilayam at Poes Garden, is only in Jayalalitha's name. Sasikala's name doesn't figure anywhere in the property, which is why several questions have also been raised on why Sasikala is residing there. Panneerselvam has picked this up and has made it a huge issue, and this really is something that he is going to be going after. We understand that this morning he also held a meeting with the DGP Rajendran as well as the Chief Secretary Girija Vaidyanathan. Two issues that were discussed. One was the transfer of the police commissioner, and the other was this very issue about how legally he can go forward, constitutionally how he can go forward to issue this notice to ensure Poes Garden is made a memorial. Also a quick update from here, Avantika. We're expecting Panneerselvam to come out any moment now. He will be going to the airport to receive the Governor Vidyasagar Rao personally there. He will have a lot of explaining to do to the Governor as far as his resignation is concerned. At 5 p.m, Sasikala Natarajan along with her busloads of MLAs will be going to meet the Governor as well.
But by mulling lockdown of Poes Garden, by writing to banks not to operate without his consent, by ordering the transfer of the top cop, the police commissioner, Mr. S. George, isn't the caretaker chief minister also sending out a very strong message to the general secretary of the AIADMK, who just recently was elected leader of the legislature party unanimously?
Absolutely, Avantika. I think he's making it very clear that this is not just a numbers game. It's not just coming down to the numbers. He's using all the mechanisms he does have under his kitty, really, as far as his power is concerned. What we have to keep in mind is that he's still the chief minister, caretaker or not, temporary or not. He's still the chief minister. He holds certain powers, which is why he's making all these changes, as far as shunning out of the Chennai police commissioner is concerned, as far as Poes Garden order is concerned, and within the AIADMK, in his capacity as a treasurer, he's now taking action that could possibly be a huge body blow to Sasikala Natarajan as well as her team, because his contention, his bone of contention really is that Sasikala's appointment as a general secretary is null and void, and hence removing him, expelling him from the party is illegal, will not hold good, and that's why he still remains the treasurer of the AIADMK. He's using all the power he really has, Avantika, to ensure that he drags out Sasikala Natarajan, that he bleeds her dry, whether it be through money, whether it be through her residence, or whichever means it takes. So he's made it very clear this battle is anywhere near over, really. It's far from over at this point, is what he's making very clear. And it's not just about the numbers, because Panneerselvam definitely has a few tricks up his sleeve. He's using every mechanism he's got to lash out at Sasikala Natarajan and give her one blow, one headache after another.
I want you to tell me a little bit more about Poes Garden House, the residence of the late Chief Minister, Akshata. The house that clearly has now become also the epicenter of this very bitter rebellion between the two closest confidants of the late Chief Minister.
The Poes Garden residence is called the Veda Nilayam, Avantika. It was bought by Jayalalitha and her mother together. Today, that property is worth, if I'm not wrong, about 41 crores. So you can imagine how many people really will be trying to lay stake to that particular property. Jayalalitha, of course, has a lot of properties to her name. She had not just Veda Nilayam, but many properties across Tamil Nadu, across Hyderabad, across the south, really panned out. two properties. One is Nilayam in Poes Garden, another in Hyderabad. These were the only two properties where Sasikala's name did not feature whatsoever. For some reason, Jayalalitha did not feel the need to add Sasikala Natarajan to this particular property, and that's what's led to this issue. The fact that Sasikala Natarajan, despite that, continues to stay at this particular residence. Poes Garden is a very posh area of Chennai. The who's who of Chennai resides in this area, but it's really been defined by this particular residence, Nilayam, which is of course very, very expensive. It will lead to a huge property fight.
Legislative assembly. So as far as that is concerned, very clear. I'm not willing to engage in a debate. Okay.
Okay, we just lost that reaction. We'll just get what Mr. Panneerselvam had to say. Now, of course, what Akshita was just taking us through the news that came about of Panneerselvam, who is perhaps in talks, is mulling of a lockdown of Jayalalitha's famous Poes Garden, in which Sasikala Natarajan has been living in for so many years. In fact, she continues to live at Poes Garden even after the very tragic demise of the late Chief Minister. Let's just listen in to what Mr. Panneerselvam has to say. In fact, we believe that he rushed to Poes Garden after this news came about of Panneerselvam mulling the lockdown of Jayalalitha's Poes Garden. Okay, we're going to give you a quick recap of what exactly has been going on. Now, what has happened is that a very senior member of the AIADMK, Madhusudanan, has also joined the OPS camp. In fact, both of them, that is the caretaker chief minister and Madhusudan, addressed the press and claimed to be the legitimate party heads. In fact, Mr. Panneerselvam also made a lot of allegations against Sasikala Natarajan in that interaction with the media a short while back from his residence, where he accused the General Secretary, who was just recently elected as the leader of the Legislative Party, of adopting and playing dirty tricks to become the Chief Minister of the state. This comes a day after Sasikala Natarajan addressed the party cadres, accused the caretaker Chief Minister of working at the behest of the DMK. I'm going to go straight across now to Editor Output, India Today, Shiv Arur. Shiv, can you just tell me what exactly is going on outside Poes Garden, after the news came about of Mr. Panneerselvam planning to lock down Poes Garden? Is that true? Do we have any confirmation of the same, or are these just rumours doing the rounds?
There is talk about that, Avantika. It has been doing the rounds for a while, but, it doesn't appear that it's going to happen anytime soon, if it does at all. There's a significant police presence. It's a bit thinned down right now outside Poes Garden, but I can tell you it's been there. There's enough security. There has been a steady influx of VIPs. Mafoy Panneerselvam, the Education Minister of the state, was here a short while ago. We spoke to him as well, where he was telling us, trying to clear the air from the Sasikala campsite as far as those MLAs who are, locked up in a hotel on the outskirts of Chennai is concerned, where he basically tried to make it seem like it's a perfect situation for Sasikala. He said that Sasikala, along with 10 ministers from the state, will be meeting the governor at about 7:30 this evening, and if the governor's office requires it, then those MLAs who've pledged their support to Sasikala will also be made available to meet the governor. Contrary to what the camp is claiming as far as support from those MLAs is concerned, he says that all of the MLAs have in writing pledged their support to Sasikala. So the numbers game has gotten very interesting, manifested on the ground, at least for now, by a steady stream of visitors who've come here. We don't know if those visitors have all arrived here because of those rumors of a possible lockout, where Panneerselvam will get the police to put Nilayam on lockdown and throw everyone out. It doesn't appear that that's happening for now. There's police. Everything seems normal at Poes Garden at this particular moment.
Okay.
But the hours are getting closer and closer, Avantika, to that meeting at 7:30 p.m. between Sasikala and team with the governor, which will be preceded by Mr. Panneerselvam meeting the governor as well at about 5 p.m.
Absolutely. That was a very important point you made, Shiv, because all this while we thought it was going to be Sasikala Natarajan who will be first meeting the governor when he arrives at Chennai. But the news that we've just got about it's going to be actually Panneerselvam who will be first meeting the governor, followed by Sasikala Natarajan. In fact, let's just make you hear what exactly did the caretaker chief minister had to say from the visuals that we're showing you from his residence, where he accused VK Sasikala of lying and betraying Amma.
ஆட்சியையும் கட்சியும் கைப்பற்றி ஒரு குடும்பத்தின் சொத்தாக ஆக்கிவிட வேண்டும் என்ற கபட நாடகம் ஆடிக்கொண்டிருக்கின்ற திருமதி VK சசிகலா அவர்களுக்கு மக்கள் சரியான பாடம் புகட்டுவோம் என்று இன்றைக்கு நிலை. அனைவரும் அவர் கூட தான் இருக்கிறார்கள். அனைவரும் மாண்புமிகு அம்மா அவர்கள் குடியிருந்த அந்த கோயிலான வேதா இல்லத்தில் தான் இருக்கிறார்கள். இது யாருக்கு செய்த துரோகம்? இவ்வளவு பெரிய துரோகத்தை அவர்கள் செய்துவிட்டு நான் துரோகியா?
Okay, we have been continuously getting you all the very little details coming in from Chennai on this very bitter power tussle going on between Chinnamma and the caretaker Chief Minister Panneerselvam. Editor India Today, Shivrur, in fact, has just sent us this report on a poster war that can also be seen in the state.
In a state where political posters play a large part of strength and projection of power, we're expecting a big poster war to break out between Sasikala and Panneerselvam. And it's actually already begun. Take a look at this very interesting poster that's come up outside Poes Garden, right outside where Sasikala lives in Jayalalitha's residence right now. It says Mudalvar Sasikala, which is basically Chief Minister Sasikala. But below that, in Tamil, are words that basically translate as Tamil Nadu's first woman as the Chief Minister, which is basically a very, very interesting thing to say. It's a very political statement, but it's also very specific, because remember, technically speaking, there have been two lady Chief Ministers before Sasikala. There was Janaki Ramachandran and of course there was Amma Jayalalitha. Janaki Ramachandran was a Malayali and Jayalalitha was a Mandya Brahmin with a Telugu mother. So basically what this appears to be saying is the first Tamil woman as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. It's a Tamil pride statement. It also basically highlights that the others who've been Chief Minister were not really Tamil women, and also separates VK Sasikala from all her predecessors. She's not Chief Minister just yet, but that may be one of the planks she's looking at to win the hearts of the people, playing very much on that Tamil pride factor. With Ankur Arora at Poes Garden in Chennai, Shiv Arur for India Today.
In fact, the political war has intensified between Sasikala and Panneerselvam camps after the AIDMK Presidium Chairman E. Madhusudanan joined the OPS camp. Posters carrying Deepa Jayakumar, the niece of Jayalalitha, and OPS, which seemed to have been already ready, were immediately brought in and pasted near the caretaker Chief Minister's residence.
As the monumental battle for the post of Chief Minister is inching towards climax, when the governor reaches Chennai, the people, CM, OPS and Sasikala, the General Secretary of the party, is expected to meet them. There is also one more twist where right now the fight for the leadership of the post is also becoming a bigger issue. Well, for the day, the development is Chief Minister OPS has decided to make Poes Garden, the Jayalalitha's monumental residence, as her memorial, which clearly means that Sasikala and her family would be evicted from the place. Not just that, the support for OPS camp has increased from 5 to 22, it seems, which is quite big and is also expected to increase further. Right now, I'm standing at the place where the General Secretary of AIDMK, be it J. Jayalalitha or Sasikala, stand and wave, showing their hands, the twin leaf symbol to the people. With camera person Shiv Prashant, this is Pramod Madhav for India Today.
Shivrur is with us outside Poes Garden. It's so interesting to see this, poster war also that one can see breaking out in Chennai amidst the ongoing political turmoil.
It's gonna get more intense. It's gonna get more personal, Avantika. Remember, politically speaking, as far as political posters are concerned in the state of Tamil Nadu, AIADMK posters have always had, larger than life imagery of Jayalalitha, with other people really depicted very small. There's never been anyone who's dared to have a poster where they're depicted as anywhere close to being on the size or the stature of Jayalalitha. That was part of her epic power projection, through these very cinematic posters. We remember seeing those posters that came out during the 2015 floods as well, of her carrying a child across a flooding river. So, posters play a huge role in power projection. They've been slathered in quite a few places here at Poes Garden, where we're broadcasting from those images that we showed, which sort of harness the Tamil pride. A pretty controversial and daring thing to say. The first Tamil woman chief minister, sort of separating Sasikala from her women predecessors, both Jayalalitha as well as Janaki, the wife of MGR, is very controversial, basically suggesting she's the first real Tamil, woman to be a chief minister. Tamil pride is already a big issue in the state. It has, captured a lot of imagination, especially in the context of the recent Jallikattu protests.
Absolutely.
So Tamil pride is something, all politicians probably want to tap into, and those advising Sasikala are probably advising her to try and do the same. They're saying, look, you're the first Tamil woman chief minister, prospect, so you need to jump onto that. The other posters, O Panneerselvam with Deepa Jaikumar, that was planned. Mr. Panneerselvam had told us on India Today yesterday that he would welcome Deepa to join his own campaign and his own, faction, as it were, going forward in their fight against Sasikala, something which he's, apparently pretty happy to do. So, in a state where political posters, cutouts, imagery always take on a kind of epic stature, I think this is going to get much uglier.
Absolutely. Shiv, thanks so much for joining us. We'll have to take a very short break. Stay tuned. India